This is the video. This is the video that we've been waiting on. We're going to drive the Calypso. We're going to give this thing a test. Not everything went to plan. We had some issues along the way. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll cover everything that we went through to finally sort this thing out. No music, no frills. Let's go. All right, here we go. My seat's half-ass bolted down. Yeah, I know. Barely bolted down. All right, so this is going to be our first drive. Let's go ahead and data log. Well, that didn't last long. So as you can see, the car has died on me, but we don't have everything adjusted on the carburetor yet. That comes later on in the video. I'm going to leave all this in here so that you can see exactly how the carburetor, acts and any issues that we do have. Trust me though, we will get it all sorted out. So the car sounds like it's got a misfire as I'm driving it around, but believe it or not, it cleared right up. I think it was just the plugs from it basically fouling out while I was trying to get everything running. Also, you'll hear my tire scrubbing in the back. It's rubbing on my brake line, so sorry, it's annoying. You're just going to have to overlook it. So far so good, everything is working out. The car did feel a little sluggish under boost, and later on you'll find out why. There again, the noise you hear is my emergency brake cable rubbing on my wheel. Going through the gears, the car is super smooth. You couldn't tell that it had a carburetor on it. So I'm going to get out and check the fuel pressure, make sure everything's good. I actually think I'll bump it up by another pound or so right here, just to be safe. Everything looks good, so let's go. This will be our first attempt at actually making any boost, and you'll see how that goes. So you can hear the car cutting out. Let me find out what the issue is with that later. There again, take note as we pull up to the stop sign. no issues with the car stumbling or anything. At this point, I was a little worried that I didn't know what was going on, but we will figure the problem out. Now here's where things go south. I decided to go ahead and lay into it a little harder, and you'll see what happens. So it's time to go ahead and get this thing to the house and see what's going on. Also, look, this car is in second gear and doesn't buck, doesn't surge, none of that. At this point, we've not tuned the carburetor or anything, so no power valve change, nothing.
Yeah, no shit. Well, we blew the charge pipe off. That all? Yeah, looks like that's it. So we got a, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and look through the log to see exactly what's going on. So you can know what's causing something, but to actually see it, you have to pretty much data log or at least record your boost and your AFR together so that you can slow it down and see at what point you're having issues. All in all though, the car drives really good. I mean, if we have to go carbureted only on this setup, like, I'd be all for that because this thing did great. That's our first drive. I'm gonna go ahead and look the car over, and if I run across anything, I'll let you know what I come up with.
So I decided to go ahead and strap a GoPro to the fender of the car. That way we can see if the regulator is actually 1-to-1, if it's doing its job or not. So that's what we're doing here, and we find a problem. So at this point, I was kind of at a loss. I didn't know what to do. So I went back, I made a couple changes in the computer, didn't fix anything. The car did seem to do a little better. So I wanted to go ahead and jump over to the vent tube extensions and knock that out just to see if that was a problem. Come to find out, that still wasn't the problem, but we will cover that at the end of this video. So stay tuned for the fix.
We're gonna take this tube and come up about right here and bend it to where it comes out like this. Take that one, bend it to where it comes out like this. And then as the boost comes through, it'll hit those tubes and go straight in and pressurize these bowls. Because see, we're relying on extra boost to basically push more fuel through this thing.
Right.
You could use rubber hose here, but I'm going to try my hand at this and we'll see what happens. It's a little too much.
So later that night, Andrew came over and we decided we would go ahead, take the car back out again, see what was going on with it, data log it, see if we could figure it out. What you're going to see now is the second video after we made our changes. Once we're done with this quick drive, I'll go ahead and explain to you exactly what we did to fix the problem.
All right, so I know you guys can't see me, but me and Andrew are back in the car. As you can see, this is a timing map. We ran into some issues with some modifiers that were trying to compensate and pulling timing. So we're back out in the car, and guys, we just made a pull and it's working. It's not running the best at the moment, but we'll show you here in just a second that it is making boost and it's working, and that's all that matters.
Really makes me wonder if you're going to need a boost versus power valve in the front barrels, tipping in like that, rolling into it. When you're just starting to get into boost, I don't think you're going to get the right power valve for without a boost reference.
Well, we're putting one in the back.
Yeah. was about 14.
Yeah.
After looking through the logs, believe it or not, the car was a little lean in high boost, but what he was seeing was a spike. So that's pretty normal. We were in the 12s, but it wasn't as lean as we thought it was once we looked back through the log.
It was way too lean, but we ain't hammering on it anyway.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so... This carburetor is money.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is money, dude. It's not hesitating, hiccuping, or anything. So, you think a boost reference power valve in the back, you think will allow it to give a little more fuel?
You think the back barrels open when you're rolling into it when I hollered about it being lean earlier?
Well,
Can you feel the spring get tighter?
yeah, it's starting to open up the back barrels. Like
Okay.
I can do it now. I'll tell you what, I'll just go to the floor and we'll just see what happens. Did it go lean?
Yeah, about 14, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't want to play with it anymore.
Yeah, I
we
wouldn't
don't
push
want to
our
blow it
luck.
up, but it's going to need a boost reference power valve to add to it. And what we'll probably do is drop down about 4 numbers on the rear jets and add our boost reference power valve. And guys, I think this is it. I think we.
Yeah. I just thought since you were rolling into it so slow, I can't feel the back barrels open or hear the back barrels open because you're rolling into it so slow. That's why I was like, well, you might have to have one for the front too.
Let's do one more pull without the back barrels open.
Okay, let's do that.
Get up here around this.
That'll tell us our problems in the front.
Yeah. I'll do my best not to open up the secondaries.
That'll work. Like 13, low 13s.
So I'm thinking that the front barrels are probably about right.
Yeah, they're probably fine because once the back barrel's open, you don't want to get them rich, or when the back barrel opens,
Exactly.
it'll be
So-
pig rich.
So yeah, cool. Alright, you can go ahead and end it. We'll talk about when we get home.
It does. It looks good as fuck. I like it. Y'all, I'm just gonna say it now. We did it. We did it. It's not 100% tuned,
Nah, but it's all.
but we did it. Like, I just honestly earlier today, I was kind of questioning the whole thing. You know, I was like, God, you know, can I really do this? I mean, because the car was backfiring and popping, and you know, I'm like uncharted kind of territory with the Terminator X, trying to control timing. And guys, we stayed at it. We went through and looked at the data log because remember, guys, this is a Terminator X controlled car as far as timing and everything. So me and Andrew went in and we looked at the data log on it, pulled it up, and we found that the timing was dropping down to what, like 4 degrees in spots.
4.9 was the lowest we got.
Yeah. And also, like, it'd be like 12 degrees. It was just doing weird things. And let me take you over here to the computer so that I can show you. It should not have been doing that.
The target was 24, I believe, when it was 4.9, so it was, or 22, so it was pulling like 18 degrees of timing.
Yeah, so Andrew's saying, like, the target would be, say, like 23 degrees right here. But when, in actuality, it would be like, what, 4 or 12 degrees, some weird shit like that. So what we did was you just locked the bottom of this out, right? Like if you had a carbureted car, most people just lock their distributor out. So that's what we did. And then we said, okay, anything past this, we want you to start pulling timing because that's going to be, you know, boost. Anyway, long story short, I'll even show you guys. Let me just pull it up here real quick. All right, so right here, we are at 4,300 RPM, 171 kPa, AFR was at 11.6, and timing was at 4.8. Do you guys see that? That's not supposed to be the case. It was supposed to be somewhere around 20 degrees, 22 degrees of timing. So if I go back here, that's this spot right here, okay? Now, do you see what the timing was supposed to be? It was actually supposed to be like 13 here, but it was showing 4. All right, so the whole point in telling you guys that is there were modifiers inside of the tune itself that were causing problems. Coolant temp and
AFR, like target AFR, and we think what was happening, since the AFR is not right yet on this car, that it was doing all that it could do, probably pulling timing, thinking, oh shit, you know, we're gonna blow the car up or whatever. We don't really know. But anyway, we fixed all that stuff. We just went in and put 0 across everything. As a matter of fact, I'll show you here. So on the fuel side, I just changed everything to 0. Acceleration enrichment, a lot of stuff right here that we just turned to 0. And I don't know if that's the right way to do it, because there's no information out there really on what I'm doing. Although the car is not controlling fuel, we didn't want it to freak out, since it wasn't seeing a TPS signal and it wasn't seeing a idle air control signal. So the only thing we need to do was turn it all to 0, and it freaking worked. You guys just took a quick ride in the car with us. It worked. Now, the car is not as responsive as it should be. That's all going to be in timing. The carburetor itself is there. I mean, this freaking carburetor is money. It's money. Look, the Old Man's Garage, so SRC Racing, I watch a lot of their stuff, and the Old Man's Garage has, y'all, I went from knowing about that much about carburetors to, not saying I know a lot, but enough to be able to work this out. There's something to be said about him and somebody that'll take the time to really teach, because that's all we had to work off of, guys. That's it. A YouTube channel, scrolling through the internet, trying to find as much information as I could, and you know, we've managed to make this work. I know it may not seem like a big thing to some people. You guys have been doing this forever, probably, some of you, but this is somewhat different, at least with the Terminator X. You know? So it's not something that people do every day. Control this shit with a Terminator X, and we did it. So here's your proof. And the other thing that I want to let you know is it runs so good.
It's extremely smooth.
Extremely smooth. There's no fear of the car, you know, dying or anything like that. Like, I feel like I could get in this thing and I could just go, and I don't have any worries. Now, it is a carburetor, so it's subject to do whatever, but I think for the most part it's just more consistent now, and the AFRs are not crazy. It's just awesome. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Now, I did go in and make a couple changes on the carburetor. It had a 4.5 power valve in the front, and I went today to O'Reilly Auto Parts actually and bought a 6.5, so it'll actually transition quicker now. Put a 6.5 in it, we put vent tube extensions, and my accelerator pump was busted, so I replaced that. Adjusted on the secondary idle side here. So worked on the transition circuit in here, the idle circuit, and that really helped the car in the AFR while I was sitting there idling, and the transition. All right, we'll cover all that stuff in another video. I'm gonna try to make a list and help you guys out if I can remember all this stuff, because it has been a hectic week of just learning as much as I could get. And I hope I don't dump it all, because I'd like to retain a lot of this information and more. Anyway, with all that being said, guys, we did it. I think it's a success. The car, you know, it may not ever, you know, run an 8 1/4 mile or anything like that, but if nothing else, we have accomplished our goal, which was to turbocharge a blow-through setup, and it worked. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. And as always, thanks for watching.